As I enter my 5th year serving in these hallowed halls, I am still in awe of the sacred duty we have been given. We are truly the people's house. However, I believe that the people's house should give a voice to every single American, including the unborn. This past Congress, we were able to pass in the House 2 major bills protecting life. The Born Alive Protection Act and the Pain Capable Child Protection Act both affirm the humanity of the unborn in our firm belief that they are worthy of protection. Sadly, these bills were not taken up in the Senate, and with new Democratic-led House, their future is uncertain. But each January gives us hope. It is a critical time to talk about the importance of life and what it means to all Americans. Not only does the beginning of the year bring new goals and ambitions, but it contains important events that celebrate life, justice, and human potential. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose life we recently celebrated, knew this potential. He said that any person cannot succeed if he or she is willing, and I quote, sacrifice the future of his children for immediate personal comfort. He also professed the value and hope of every single human life. We also witnessed tens of thousands of marchers just recently arriving from all across America to march and boldly speak for those who can't speak for themselves. Last week, we saw what my friend Benjamin Watson says is a sad and evil day. Throughout history, there are pivotal moments that sober us up to the point of engagement. Such a moment happened 1 week ago as we watched the New York State Assembly celebrate expanding the path for late-term abortions in their state. Mr. Watson said this, "It is a sad and evil day when the murder of our most innocent and vulnerable is celebrated with such overwhelming exuberance. This law allows for abortion up to birth, practically without limits. It authorizes the legal murder of a fully viable human baby. This is what was being celebrated. This was why the Freedom Tower was lit bright pink on a cold winter's night. That celebration is now seared into our nation's conscience, and many are now realizing more than ever that we should not, that we must not, that we cannot look the other way. Even our sleeping churches are beginning to awaken to this just and righteous cause. New York already faces a cataclysm. In New York City, more than 500 abortions are performed for every 1,000 births. These numbers are more staggering for African-American babies, more of which are now aborted than actually born. The governor of New York has even suggested that those who are pro-life are not, and get this, welcome in his state. I support federalism and the idea that New York can make its own laws for New York. But my question is not a legal one, but a moral one. How long will our American society allow this injustice? Can we expect the new House Democratic majority to continue down this path, where there'll be consequences? As my friend K. Cole James likes to say, the right to life is the most fundamental of all civil rights. To revive the American dream, we must reclaim America's soul. That means standing with the majority of the American people who reject the federal funding of abortions. That means putting the life and health of women and babies ahead of the desires of abortion giants like Planned Parenthood. But in many cases, we must also regain our credibility in valuing the birth at all stages of life. Do we care? Tough question. Do we care 20 weeks after the baby is born as much as we value the baby 20 weeks before birth? In closing, Mark Twain said this, "The 2 most important days are when you are born and when you find out why." How many babies, how many children will never get to discover either? Please continue to stand for those who have no voice. In the name that is everything just, never stop raising yours. And with that, I yield back the balance of our time.